it's a great pleasure to see all of you here because it is a very serious issue, what we're about to discuss, and we called it post-back flight risks. And as you may have read in the media these past couple of days or the weeks before, there is chaos pretty much on every major airport or all airports throughout Europe. There is, piles and piles of suitcases. The passengers are standing in line for hours and hours, no end at check-in. And of course, you all heard about thousands and thousands of canceled flights. The official narrative, what might be the reason for this is, well, because of the lockdown, we had to lay off so many people and we cannot just hire them back. That is the official narrative. Of course, there could be other reasons for this, but I heard there is translation on the web stream. Well, too bad I started in English, now I will finish in English. So anyway, there could be other reasons for these problems, but these reasons they're not eager to even mention them, because if they did, it might turn out that their entire lie, the building of their lies may just tumble down and will break into shatters. And they went to great length to erect this building of lies, manipulation, gaslighting. You had people were being repressed. They have been forced, basically been told they will stand to lose their jobs if they don't go along with whatever the government asks them to do. If you look at this chaos, what we are looking at right now, it goes way beyond the annoyance of, missing your suitcase or having to stand in a line, because what we are actually talking about is it could cost a lot of people their lives, because we're talking actually about a safe flight, which may no longer be the case. Because what happened was that a lot of pilots that did not want to get vaccinated had been laid off. And the ones that did get vaccinated, because they had families to feed, a mortgage to pay, all of these things to take care of, may now no longer be fit to fly. And that is a problem, and to the globalist elites, it must be a shocker. Can you imagine? First, people are being forced to get a vaccination to only then find out that it might actually be the dumbest thing they ever did. But I don't want to say too much about this, because we have people here today that know far better than me what actually went on. And it is actually a great honor. And I would like you to join me into welcoming, first of all, we have Madame Prota. She is attorney at law from France. Then we have Mr. Philippe Kruse, attorney at law from Switzerland. We have Mrs. Chantal Biolay. She is a pilot. And we have Mrs. Letizia Howard. She is a flight attendant. And it is really a great pleasure having all of you here. And I will have to say, you are very brave people, because that's actually, bravery is actually what it takes. Courage is what it takes to stand in the way of the globalist elites, because they're unscrupulous and they will do whatever they can. So it's a great honor to have you here. And I'm pretty sure this vaccine campaign, it will go down as the biggest scandal in medical history. And moreover, it will be known as the biggest crime ever committed on humanity. That is actually what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen.
In March of 2021, The Nuclear Threat Initiative, which is a think tank out of Washington, met in Munich with the Munich Biosecurity Group, and they did a monkeypox bioterrorism tabletop exercise. This is the timeline in the report from NTI, and the release date of the monkeypox outbreak is scheduled in May of 2022. Almost, according to the schedule of when we started to see the monkeypox cases being reported.
Wait a minute. Another sort of Event 201 type scenario where they were gaming out a potential biological threat or release that could sweep the world. And their scenario starts a year later in May of 2022. I'm starting to wonder, are these people psychic? Do they know something we don't know? Or are we somehow, is this like the ultimate proof that what you fear you draw upon you? But it is really bizarre, that timing. And so when they ran this scenario, what was the results? What kind of numbers were they looking at when they went sort of worst case scenario with monkeypox?
They had conceived of a scenario where the monkeypox would not be responsive to a vaccine. And there would be many millions who actually die of monkeypox. The numbers were extraordinary that they cooked up. But I can tell you, the release date of May 15th, that's just a week before the WHO meeting on the global treaties for pandemic response, and right just before the Davos meeting for the World Economic Forum. The timing of this would make anyone naturally suspicious.
If this Parliament gets it wrong, everyday Australians will suffer through inflation or worse, stagflation for decades. And instead of working together to push Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum plan based on United Nations policies, work together instead for our country. Klaus Schwab's life by subscription, quote, is really serfdom, it's slavery. Billionaire globalist corporations will own everything: homes, factories, farms, cars, furniture. And everyday citizens will rent what they need, if their social credit score allows. The plan of the Great Reset is that you will die with nothing. To pull off this evil plan, Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum will need to take more than just material possessions from Australians. Senators in this very chamber today who support the Great Reset threaten our privacy, freedom and dignity. Yes, they're in this Senate chamber. One Nation vehemently opposes the Great Reset, the Digital Identity Bill, theft of agricultural land use, forcing farmers off their land, and all of the Great Reset. One Nation has a comprehensive plan to bring our beautiful country back to sustainable prosperity. And in the months ahead, we will be rolling that plan out. Instead of Lib Lab pushing Klaus Schwab's Great Reset with the tagline, "You will own nothing and be happy," One Nation advocates the Great Resist. We stand for a world where individuals and communities have primacy over predatory globalist billionaires and their quisling bureaucrats, politicians and mouthpiece media. One Nation accepts the challenge to provide a better future for everyday Australians. We have one flag, we are one community, and we are one nation. Thank you, Madam Acting Deputy President.
Prime Minister of New Zealand, and we love you, New Zealanders that watch.
Yeah, we love the people in New York and Seattle,
too. There she is, and she has allowed the most extreme abortion law in the world.
Jacinda
This is the
Ardern.
Prime Minister of New Zealand. Abortions will now be available on demand for any reason up to birth. Sex-selective abortions will be legalized, meaning if you find out you're having a boy and you want a girl, you can abort the baby. If you're having a girl and you want a boy, you can abort the baby.
It's murder.
The current 20-week limit for disability-selective abortion will be scrapped, and abortion will be available up to birth for disabilities including a cleft lip, a club foot, and Down syndrome. There will be no requirement that a doctor be involved with providing an abortion. How insane. How many women are going to die from that? There will be no legal requirement that babies born alive after a failed abortion will be given medical support. There will be no legal requirement that pain relief be given to babies being aborted between 20 weeks and birth.
And they can feel pain at that time.
There will be no legal restrictions on controversial methods of abortion such as intact dilation and extraction abortions, also known as partial birth abortion. That's when you allow a baby to be partially born and then you kill it, and you do that for the harvesting of the parts.
A worrying number of babies born during the pandemic is ending up in hospital in intensive care. Doctors say infants haven't developed immunity to respiratory viruses and are testing positive for influenza and COVID at the same time. The Children's Hospital of Westmead in Sydney reports 5% of babies with co-infections are being admitted to ICU, with paediatricians describing that as very concerning.
I wish to raise a matter this afternoon for the attention of the Minister for Education, and I have to say it is not often in this job I am absolutely shocked. I thought I'd seen everything, but this one is just beyond words. It is a note from a constituent who says, "Hi Bernie, this is a worksheet that my 10-year-old daughter brought home from school," and it includes a photo of the worksheet. "Part of her homework was to discuss with her father his erections and ejaculation. I find this very disturbing and sickening, as indeed do I have to say. I have complained to the school and was told it was just part of the curriculum. Can you advise who else I should make a complaint to?" Well, I could go on for days who she could complain to. "My daughter still plays with dolls and writes letters to the Tooth Fairy. There is no way any little girl should be told to ask these questions." Well, so say all of us. What the hell is going on in this state when 10-year-old girls are told to go home and talk to your father about his erections and about his ejaculations? What the hell is going on here? How the hell are we supposed to protect our kids when this sort of perversion is in our schools? This is what is being dished up to them on a daily basis. In a primary school. Not even a secondary school, a primary school. This is just unbelievable. It's staggering. I could not imagine the reaction. I have 3 daughters. I could not imagine the reaction of any of them if they were told to do that. They would be traumatised for life. I don't think they'd ever recover. I'm not sure I'd ever recover. This is just deplorable. This is just deplorable. And it seems to me to be a part of the ongoing war by the Andrews government against children, in particular, in this state. Let kids be kids. A 10-year-old girl should not be exposed to this sort of material. I think it is deplorable. It is deplorable. And I challenge anybody, just ask yourselves here tonight, would you be happy if you had a 10-year-old and she was told to go home to talk to her dad about his ejaculation and his erections? Would you be happy with that? Would you be relaxed about that? Oh, God, I wouldn't be. I'd be horrified. Indeed, we should all be horrified. So I asked the Minister to conduct an urgent investigation to remove this material and ensure that no other child is put in the situation that this poor 10-year-old little girl has been put into at this point.